Anything? I will check my microphone.
There we go.
Is your speaker on?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay. So this is
Morteza. Hi, how's it going?
he's our first.
Nice to meet you. Can you say your name again? I didn't catch it the first time.
Morteza. It'll take some time.
Morteza.
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 You got it. You got it.
Oh,
Just
all right.
practice.
Wonderful. I'm more of a visual person, so if you spell it, sometimes that helps, unless it's in a language that is not phonetic.
Right.
In English, then it doesn't help. But Morteza is, I can manage that. Yeah, it's great to meet you. My name's Paul, and you've met Jacob, and we're glad to have you. You're the first visitor in the new year, and we have these monthly meet and greets. And this house we closed on it in June, so June 9th, and then we started renovating it. So I started living in the house before there was running water or electricity or anything. So the first couple of nights were kind of scary, but it was an adventure. And that's, part of our competitive advantage is that when we rehab these houses, we, one of us, starting with me, lives in them at first. And then, every day I wake up and my motivation is to make it a little more livable by the time I go to bed. And so I did that for the month of August. And then I left for a month to sort of learn how to build houses and learn how to do home repair. And then I came back in October and November. And that's when a lot of this work happened. And as you can tell, there's still work to be done, but it's coming along. We should have some kind of time-lapse video to show like what the house looked like at the beginning, and then progress goes on. But for us, we hope you'll come back and you'll see the progress every time is the exciting part. It's if you see it at any one point in time, it may you don't have sort of like all the context. Yeah. But yeah, then I met Jacob on Discord actually through another server. So I went to a maker farm where they were teaching us how to do open source hardware and how to build our own house from scratch. And Jacob was part of that server. And then I mentioned, oh, we're rehabbing this house, come visit. And he took me up on it, and which is great. And so then we've been we lived together and worked together, and he had built his Voron 3D printer that you're seeing over to one side, the enclosure. I mean, that's amazing. He did that in a few days. There are people at the camp who like still haven't finished their Voron. And then not only that, but he built a robot, which hopefully he'll get to show you as well. And so the overall project is cooperative investment. This is only our first house. We hope to finish it and do something with it. It's up to the community, and we would love to have your input as well. Should we rent it? Should we sell it? Should we turn it to a community cafe or a hacker house? We don't really know. And also, if you know anyone or if you need a room, there's a room opening up upstairs. And so part of the house tour is just to see all the rooms and the current state. And if you or anyone who needs a place to stay is okay with the state of the bathroom and the kitchen, and it's livable, then we would love to have you. So I'll pause there. I've done a lot of talking. I'd love to hear sort of what your interests are and how you found this meetup.
Yeah, so I'm currently actually a college student. I'll be graduating this year.
Congratulations.
Supply chain finance. I am a new real estate investor. I have a single family right now in Warren that I'm currently renovating.
Oh, congrats.
And within the next few months, I want to look to get a multifamily. That's kind of the goal for the next few months is to get a duplex. And I've been doing my research, but I saw this meetup, and I thought, okay, it's a cool opportunity to kind of not only explore the area we're in, but kind of what you guys are doing. Like I said, I was a little confused on the title when I saw it, but you explained it to me. It makes sense, like what this is about. But yeah, just aspiring to grow in the real estate industry and try to get as much experience as I can.
Yeah, no, for sure. If Jacob is there, Jacob, if you're there, feel free to come sit and join us with Morteza. So I'd like to see you too. I know you're there, but right now I'm just seeing your reflection. Unless you're busy tending the robot.
No.
There you go. Hey, Jacob. Yeah, so this brings up a lot of questions for me as well, which is, it sounds like you've been making a lot of progress. So where to start? So the house that you have in Warren, we have friends who live in Warren, right, Jacob? Don't Malik and Jason live in Warren?
Well, definitely not Jason. Malik, I'm not so sure. Jason lives in kind of Westline. I mean, it's not really west. It's like you're very close with like the Sunshine, whatever. But that's next to Westline. That's like 20 miles away, probably. Malik, I'm not so sure. I think he lives pretty close.
Yeah,
Adrian lives somewhere close here. So
you're right. I mix them up all the time. It's not Warren, it's Westland, but Warren is up north, right?
Yeah, yep. It's a little bit. It's only like 15, 20 minutes away. It's not too far.
Yeah. Would you say, so you have a single family house? Would you say it's in comparable, better shape than this house, worse shape, like closer to selling?
This house, well, I got it when it was completely gutted.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's pretty much from the ground up, like literally from the ground up, underground plumbing all the way up to the roof. So it's a big one. It's a big one. I've been learning a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the joy and the terror of doing this as well. It's like we can hire people to do it, and sometimes we should, but then we wouldn't get the learning. So I mean, there are a couple of things around the house where we didn't do them up to code or the way as good as I would like, and so we'll probably redo them. And it's definitely slower, not more expensive, but slower than hiring a professional who already knows what they're doing. And I've sort of taken that approach deliberately, and I know some of my business partners maybe are frustrated with that because they just want to get it done and have this be like a quick flip. And so I'm curious how much, or like how do you decide what to do yourself, if any, or whether to hire a professional? Where do you find contractors you like? I mean, if you don't mind sharing, because I know if you find a good contractor, you want to like keep them for yourself for sure. So
no, it's not like this. Well, for starters, my parents are in the business, so I kind of got a lot of help and tips from them as well. But essentially, everything that requires a permit for is what I've hired out to do, and I made sure to get contractors that are licensed.
yeah,
They have at least some good reputation with regards to their work. And then the stuff that I decide to do myself, like me and my dad we added a bathroom. So we're going to be doing the bathrooms all by ourselves. We're going to be doing the kitchen all by ourselves.
fantastic.
Flooring, I'm going to be doing the drywall, painting. So, which is obviously a considerable amount of money if you put that into terms of how much you got to pay someone to do it. But, like I said, everything, because this was in such rough shape when I bought it, everything that I needed to get done that is essential, because I might rent it out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, whether to sell it or rent it, because I know interest rates are rising. So I don't know how easy it will be to sell. But definitely want it to be in good shape. So like I said, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, roofing, windows, all got them, licensed.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. For a while I tried, and some of the work I do myself, like I'm an electrical engineer. I studied electrical engineering and computer science in school, which is not the same as an electrician for sure. But
Yeah,
I mean, you know what you're doing, but you may not buy the right part, or you still have to study to bring it up to code. And Jacob also is an electrical engineer, and so the two of us together can handle the electrician house. But we need a new roof, for example, and so that's probably the most expensive thing we're considering right now. We'd love to have solar panels on the roof as well, so the house is like energy self-sufficient. That'll be more expensive in the short term, but long term, I think whoever lives there will save energy. Oh, hey, is it Natalie?
Hey, Paul. How's it going?
I thought I saw a familiar face. Yeah, I hope you're being safe. It looks like you're in a car.
I am actually on the road to a gig in Indianapolis, and I just stopped for food and saw the Discord notification and thought, well, while I eat, maybe I will listen in. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did.
You too.
You'll have to tell us about, what sort of gig, if it's not like a private thing.
No, I can tell you. Yeah, it's a home show. I'll probably be representing Chevrolet or GM I think.
Whoa.
So I'm doing well. I mean, it sounds cooler than it is. I'm
Cool.
going to be a brand ambassador / product specialist for this one. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I really just direct people to their dealers, but I'm responsible for giving them some basic information about the vehicles, which I haven't studied yet, so I can't tell you yet.
Yeah. Well, you know, you
So,
probably,
yeah.
you probably got time for Siri to read it to you on the drive there, or
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, make my little note cards, and that's kind of how I've done it before. So yeah, but I'm getting back into working, which is great. And yeah, I do have to get back on the road, so I might disappear without warning here, but I definitely wanted to check out what you guys are doing. I love that you're doing this. Like, I've been looking into some houses in the Minneapolis area, but I need one that's basically ready, like it would just be me doing the work, and I would prefer to have more people than just me working on it if it needed work to live in. So what you guys are doing is really cool. It's fun to see.
yeah, no, it's good to have you along, and for sure, we would like to have a cooperative that rehabs houses, because not everyone has the time or the skills. I definitely don't have the skills to do everything by myself, and it's great to have Morteza as well. Morteza, meet Natalie, Morteza.
Hello.
So Natalie, I met at the Maker Farm, also at the workshop, the house building workshop. So we worked on this model open source home together in Missouri. And that definitely gave me a lot more confidence to like put screws into 2x4s. And, I built smaller things. I built the standing desk that I'm using right now. And I'm going to frame this shipping container. So I'm calling from Arizona right now. And so there are things that I work on here that are for Detroit. Like, for example, I built a heater. So it's not lit right now, but it's like a rocket mass heater out of bricks that I learned how to do north of Michigan. So like at a very hippie straw bale studio. And it's more efficient than a normal wood stove. And so if I could install that in these houses in Detroit, that would be great. A friend, Wes, Natalie remembers Wes, has got me into Shower Loop, which is an open source recirculating shower. So it's basically an infinite supply of shower water from like a finite amount, and it just refilters the water and reheats it, or heats it with a heat exchanger. And when I first moved into the house, the Detroit house that you're in, Morteza, right now, and with Jacob, there was no running water. And if I knew how to build a shower loop, I could have like showered forever, like 2-hour-long showers, nothing that long, but 2-hour-long showers with the 5 gallons of water, and it would have been quite extravagant. So there are a lot of abandoned houses in Detroit. A lot of squatters do sort of home repairs, and they're kind of hasty and they lessen the value of the house. But if there was an open source design, or even better, if there was like workshops, then lots more people could be having showers. They could build these rocket mass heaters. Lots more people could have heating in the winter. And yeah, our mission, I guess, is not clear. We definitely want to help as many people be homeowners as possible, and to help people coordinate, because some people are skilled. Some people already are licensed, insured contractors, and they're probably doing this professionally. And then other people, know some are amateurs, like skilled amateurs, like me and Jacob. And then other people, want to be homeowners, and they support community efforts, but they don't have the desire or the time to become contractors themselves. So we're trying to come up with some kind of incentive or organization system where people can work together, and it's kind of like an Amish barn raising, so that you are helping other people work on their houses, and that your turn will come, or you've sort of earned credits, and you can either cash in these credits for money, like it's basically like decision-making power in the house, or you can, if you work enough, like let's say you fix 4 houses or something, and then you get the 5th one, something like that. We haven't worked out the actual numbers, but that's the goal. So there's kind of a community investment and long-term trust plan, as opposed to just flipping houses, which there's nothing wrong with flipping houses. Like, it sounds like you're doing it very successfully, and you're moving on to a duplex next, which is awesome to hear, Morteza. Yeah, we'd love to find a way to work together, but even just knowing that there are other people working on houses is great because it can get lonely. I mean, you probably know this, right? Like if you're living in a house, working on it day to day, you've got your dad, that's great. And I'm meeting more and more people, but for a while it was just me and contractors. And so I kind of would like it to be sort of a celebratory thing where like, you know, like a barn raising where you're working on a house, but like people are dropping by, neighbors are like checking out the progress. And then in your mind, you have sort of a finish date where people know, and then they have like a huge party when the house is ready. And then hopefully potential buyers are coming by also to give you feedback or just to introduce themselves, to get to know you. Just like, you know, Morteza, you coming by and saying hi, that's great. We imagine like we'd love for people to come by, people who want to work on the house, people who want to buy the house or rent the house. It probably
That
isn't
sounds so
hard.
awesome.
Oh,
I love the system and what you guys are trying to do, because that's exactly what I wish was happening in Minneapolis, or if I could relocate somewhere where that was happening. Because for me, it's the social inertia is really what does it. I'm unfortunately not a great self-starter, and community though really helps me get things learned and done. And so I love that that's part of your plan, is kind of getting that, having that social inertia piece in it, because we do better, you know, when there's a group, I think. I'm going to turn off my camera and eat my food here, but I'm still here. So.
please do. Yeah, it's good to have you, Natalie.
Yeah, like good to be here.
And before too long, I'll ask Jacob to take the camera around the house so that you can see. Actually, maybe that would be good to do now, so you can see a little bit of our house while you're eating and before you have to go. And Morteza, have you seen any of the house yet except walking in through the front door?
No, I have not. Curious.
Yeah, well, I would love to show you around, and I can direct you. It's kind of you can be my robot, and I will be like, turn left, Morteza, forward, 1 meter. No, too far. Don't go in that room. If Jacob's around, he can move the camera as well. Is this camera the webcam that's attached to his laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you
So I guess-
want, we can let you move around with the robot so that you can follow us along, like for real time. If you want to do that. It's a little bit experimental, but we can do it.
Well, I would love to do the robot tour towards the end, but I think Natalie only has a few minutes while she's eating dinner before she has to leave, and it'd be fun to show her. So do you mind, Jacob, taking your laptop and webcam on a sort of faster walking tour now, and then we can try the robot point of view towards the end of the meeting, which I think would be cool.
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, our pleasure. And Morteza, one idea I wanted to implement when I get back to Detroit is having sort of workshops because there are many people. There's actually a Facebook group called Detroit Land Bank Owners and Contractors, and they are for sure not all licensed and bonded. I mean, it's a fun group. It's a great group, but the group also is full of like scammers and people who will like do a shoddy job and then block your text number and never you can't reach them after you pay for the job. Yeah. And but there's a core of people who do like, you know, really inspiring work on their own houses. And something I wanted to do was sort of have workshops to invite people just to be like, you know, one day it'll be like toilet day, and so we'll just like learn how to install a toilet together. Or I only say that because that's what I learned how to do recently. And I got super proud, and I installed a new toilet for my mom. And you know, you'll have to stop me before I gratuitously install too many other toilets. But
That's awesome.
yeah, Natalie, if you need a toilet, just let me know. I'll show up in Minneapolis.
I just might. Be careful what you ask for there.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Feedback. Okay. Jacob's A52. All right. I think that's good. Can we take one of those to go up? So Jacob, I'll let you take the lead, and Morteza or Jacob, also, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer what you're seeing in the house.
Okay, so this is the kitchen.
Okay. You guys are working on this right now?
Yeah, we demolished it in December, and then actually, for me, it's funny that you mentioned you're doing the bathroom and the kitchen yourself, Morteza, with your dad, because those are exactly the spaces that we want to do ourselves as well. And so, yeah, what I'll need to do this remotely are measurements. And so I'll work with Jacob. You know, I need measurements to know how much counter space we need. Like when I buy cabinets, I'll probably buy pre-built cabinets, you know, from Lowe's or Home Depot.
Yeah.
Just get them now. I just need to know what space there is, so what will fit, and then where to fit the fridge, because you know the fridge is in the dining room right now, and there's some creativity that can happen here. And then for sure the floor is warped in a weird way. It's not even the subfloor that's sinking around the joists. It's just a weird bump that I think once we take it up, we'll see what's going on. And also
Yeah, we have to.
What's that, Jacob?
We'll have to about the floors. Also, we have to get rid of that door. We have to get rid of this, and then we can do a single countertop from here all the way around here and around there, and include the sink as well. And you get a good quality sink. That should be a nice counter space, and finishes with sheetrock. So
yeah, we should discuss that too. So I actually want to keep the door because I think it's super great to have a back door. Right now, you have to go out through the side door, and so Adrian's house. Adrian is my business partner who he inspired me to think that I could renovate houses as well. So he has a house a few blocks away, and his kitchen has a door that goes out to the back, and they have a nice sunroom. And so right now, you know, when we get to that part, we'll talk about what is on the other side of that door, right? Because it's kind of mysterious.
Well, did you guys do the plumbing all by yourselves?
no, we hired somebody.
Oh, you guys hired someone to do the plumbing. I can tell it's new. Got PEX.
Oh yeah. So some of the PEX was added by a squatter. And Jacob, can you tilt the camera up? There you go. Yeah, so that part was galvanized pipe, and then some PEX. The squatter knew about PEX, so that's pretty impressive. And they did an okay job, but they also cut into the joists, which I am very much against. You know, these joists are irreplaceable. They're from like 100-year-old hardwood trees, and so it's we should avoid disturbing as much as possible. But yeah, we hired someone to replace the sewer pipe. It was crumbling, and so we replaced it with that nice big PVC that you see. The PEX, we relocated the tub, and we can talk more about the bathtub, but here is a good place to see that slope is not up to grade. Like that's the drain from the bathtub, and it actually goes uphill before downhill. And that's, yeah, clearly not the work that we're most proud of. That was like a hack the day or two before I left, just to get the bath running for everyone in the house before I saw them again in May. And so we should fix that. We definitely will fix that before we close up. And yeah, the ceiling probably has to be lowered by a few inches to allow room for the plumbing in the corner. You know, some people suggested a plumbing box. Some people suggested just a lowered ceiling. We haven't decided yet, but yeah,
You guys want the whole underground, like your pipe all the way to the main replaced?
No. Just this section and underground. It's probably good, I guess. But and behind this door, yeah, Paul, like behind this door, like we know what's there. It's bricked up, and it's not gonna be easy to get it out. So honestly, I would advise you to just chuck it and just do an all-around countertop and just use the side door. But that's just a different conversation for a different time.
Yeah. I will. I value your opinion. Thank you for giving it. It's definitely a discussion that we should have. And even whether to keep the cabinets or not, because you know, that wall is structural there, and you know, some of the cabinets, like the upper part of the cabinets, I think would be hard to replace. It is possible to replace them, but it's pretty firmly attached to the wall, so it would take some work to remove it all and replace it. But the countertop, yeah, I don't like the countertop. We could get concrete. Actually, I like the look of concrete countertops, and so I've been like wanting to try that. I might do some experiments down here to see how hard it is to pour it. There's also butcher block, which is time consuming to make, but looks gorgeous. Adrian has butcher block in his kitchen. And oh yeah, there's a whole drawer that's missing. So that's another argument for replacing at least some of the cabinets on the bottom, is that one of the drawers is missing.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on what your end goal is with the house. You know, it like just from obviously I don't have much experience. I'm still relatively new, but
Us too, yeah.
you know, it depends. Like if you're gonna sell it, or if you guys decided what you guys were gonna do with it. You know, I guess that could really alter your rehab costs, because you know, obviously if you're gonna sell it, I don't know what these houses have over here for their countertops, but maybe it could be granite, and if it's that, you might have to put granite. But if you guys are just making it like a cohabitable home, you know, like you guys said that you guys were going to decide what you would do with it, then yeah, like a butcher block, I think the butcher block would be cheaper. I'm not really sure.
It would
Either
be,
way,
yeah.
Either way, it looks nice. I can see the vision, I guess.
Yeah, and one thing which it would be great to collaborate somehow. One part of the vision is also to save costs by having a bulk assembly line approach. This was one of the platform issues of Eric, I think it was Eric Adams or Anthony Adams, I forget. There was a candidate to Detroit mayor who did not win, but won, unfortunately, but one of his, part of his platform, which I really liked, was to rehab affordable houses in an assembly line fashion. And I think he deliberately phrased it because Detroit has this rich history of, automotive assembly and skilled manufacturing workers. And, Henry Ford invented the assembly line. And I thought that was a great idea. And I wish there was some way we could still make it happen. I mean, we will work on it this way, but if we wanted to make countertops here and you needed countertops, and there's a way we could sort of either hire the same skilled person to make 2 countertops for both of us, for less, maybe we get like a volume discount because we have 2 houses, something like that. That's just an idea. But it would be great if we both got beautiful countertops together.
So next, where you want to go next? Basement or?
Show me, I'm not really familiar with the house. So you show me
Here would be kind of the living room and dining room space.
yeah.
So it's a pretty big space, and we have a fireplace. Fireplace should theoretically be working. I mean, we can even turn it on now, and we've got this nice round table. You can, set it up over here, have, a cocoa, coffee, and then the fireplace. Theoretically it should be working. I mean, we've got a fire extinguisher and carbon monoxide alarm, so we can even try it out today if you want, but I don't know. Yeah.
I would be in favor, but obviously fire safety, I'll leave it up to your judgment. I've been setting everything on fire here to stay warm, and so I'm kind of a pyro about it. But yeah, the fireplace looks great. It looks really great.
I'm laughing at that. That's funny.
Yeah, no, it's fire is fun. If we have time at the end, I'll show you. I used a Fresnel lens to scorch my address into wood. I've been trying to make these address signs, and I think I'll make some for Detroit Arcology too. I'll just make some. It's not, if I opened an Etsy store right now, it would be sort of hand scorched wood. You like send me the pattern, and then I'll scorch the wood, and then I'll send you a video of me scorching it. And but yeah, on with the tour. Oh yeah, this is the side door. So we put in this the door because it was like open to the outside when we first moved in. The basement is less scary than it was, but it is still kind of a scary murder basement. Jacob's cleaned it up a lot for robotics lab, so that's good to see.
Are most houses in Detroit equipped with a scary murder basement?
Yes, the scary murder basements are very common, and they have in the scary murder basement, they have a half bathroom, just like a toilet, which in this case is walled off, but in some houses like Adrian's, it's just open. And so you're just down there, pooping, and anyone can walk down on you at any moment, which is great for training you to be a confident pooper. But you could also, you may need to like shout out and say, I'm down here, which is what I do sometimes.
As long as nobody murders you while you're pooping.
That's right. That would be the worst.
That'd be the worst.
Yeah. I mean, everyone poops, so I think there's nothing to be ashamed of.
This is the old cooler. a bunch of bits of garbage. We gotta get it out. It's actually really hard to get it out. And then this home, the region's open. We can even technically put in a small standing shower. So she was talking about shower loop before.
Yeah, shower loop would go great there.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Yeah, and then you got the drain right over there, so you have to pump it out. And the central line probably goes somewhere through here. I don't think it's been touched. I don't know how easy it is to get to it.
Yeah.
You mean the
central
sewer
drain.
line?
Yeah, the sewer line. But there's
Yeah.
a bathroom right over here. So
Has the sewer line been snaked at all? Like, did you guys use the camera?
So the sewer line is intact. We did snake it. And so that's great, because I know in some of the older houses that sewer line is deteriorated, and when you try to flush, then it like totally backs up onto your property somewhere. So we don't have that problem here. I was going to do something a little more hacky, which is like build a raised shower pan so that it would drain into one of the existing sewer pipes, because I don't know how to do it otherwise. I don't know. I wouldn't feel great about drilling into this concrete because this is the foundation of the house, I believe. So yeah, I don't want to like introduce more cracks into it or make it more moisture available to get in. But that's a conversation for another time. This is our tool closet. It's more or less or better than tools lying in piles on the floor. Oh, Jacob, there's a workbench sitting on the freezer. So on the scary murder freezer, which is where you keep dead body parts of people you've killed. On top of that is a box, and that box is a workbench, and you just need to supply, I think, like 6 2x4s and maybe some screws. But there's a lack of usable workspace in the house, or I'm kind of a workspace diva, so there's never enough workspace. And so if you found yourself with spare time and you wanted to make another bench with pegboard, you can see what it looks like on the outside of the box. I think it's fairly nice. That could be a project that would benefit the house too.
yeah, sure, we'll look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go upstairs now. There's just some lights here. We can go upstairs now.
Oh, Jacob, now might be a good time to go out the side door to show the backyard too, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I will do that, but there's inadequate lighting right now outside. But we'll try. We'll use some flashlights, things like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much you'll be able to see because it is dark out there a little bit, more or less. But
Yeah, it's appreciated. I mean, Natalie might miss out, but excuse me, I know what it looks like, and then can see it with human eyes.
Go upstairs. So first, let's go
So
upstairs.
far,
then
the
we'll
signal is holding, and I'm on the road and mostly just listening, but I glance here and there.
Oh yeah, no worries. Drive safe, Natalie. When you have to leave.
And here's the second floor. It's the attic.
You can go all the way up after you finish this floor too.
Yeah. The kitchen and the bathroom are the two construction sites.
Are you guys planning on, do you know what your plan is with regards to, like, I'm sure you want to get a certificate of occupancy at some point, or are you guys staying away from that area?
That is a great question. So when I was in New York City, I did do some research about certificate of occupancy. But in Michigan, in Detroit, I don't know what's needed. So any advice you have would be appreciated as well. Like, this is a single family home. Would we have to get a certificate of occupancy to rent it? Or what is the purpose of the certificate of the C of O, as far as you know?
From my experience, and obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt.
For sure.
But from my experience, in order for you to live here, anyone to live here, you would have to have a certificate of occupancy. And that's pretty much, if you guys wanted to renovate this and sell it, you'd probably need a certificate of occupancy to give to the seller or to the buyer. And usually certificate of occupancy is like they check it's like a building inspection, mechanical inspection, electrical, plumbing. So you would have to file, if you don't get like licensed contractors to do some work, you would have to file file for permits for certain stuff. So it's kind of like I said, it really depends on what you guys want to do. It's a can get really expensive, you know, especially like I don't really know like the overall condition of the house, you know, but you know, it depends what you're doing. Can get expensive.
Yeah, that's good to know. We did get an inspection, but it was, you know, just someone's private service, like someone who had experience, and he told us sort of like things to look out for and what was sound in the house. And he gave us a pretty detailed inspection report. And honestly, I think just by us doing it for the past couple of months, we know enough to do future house inspections, not to bring it up to code, but just to know, like, you know, if the foundation is cracked or if like joists are leaning or anything like that. And you probably do too. Like when you look at your duplex or your next house, you could probably do the inspection or the walkthrough to know if this house is worth buying, something like that as well.
I mean, one of the contingencies for my current house was I couldn't have an inspection, which was I learned a lot not doing that. And in certain markets, you might not be able to do an inspection just because of how competitive that market is, right? Because certain buyers or certain sellers look for non-contingencies. They just want straight cash sale. So I didn't do an inspection on mine, but I guess if I walk through another house, it really depends on how big the house is. But I think I could generally estimate, okay, this would need to be done. This would be, you know, just it comes from experience. I will say that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys are. I mean, it seems like you guys are getting a lot of stuff done here. So
Yeah, no, we're coming along for sure. And yeah, the C of O, the certificate of occupancy, does sound like it is when we get the code inspection, like to know whether the building is up to code. And some of that they may have to do before we close up the drywall, because yeah, some of this that you can only look at the wiring, you can only look at the plumbing when the
Right.
drywall
Yeah.
is there.
I don't know, depending on the city, they might, if you cover it up, they might tell you, all right, rip it out, you know.
Yeah,
But like I'm not really sure when they would do that and what instance or what would trigger them to do that. But that's something that I guess could happen if like
Yeah.
they want to see or something.
we want to document everything. Like so I mean, if you're interested, and we'd love to have you later. We communicate mainly through a forum, like an online forum, and we've been posting pretty detailed posts about all the work that's been done, like photos of the old plumbing and the new plumbing, and sort of like pointing out issues, so that when someone buys this house or rents it, we would just like give them kind of like an owner's manual, say like, here, this is everything we've done to the house, this is all we know. And also I want to like provide some kind of limited warranty for the house too, for like 25 years. If like, you know, if we did anything and we cut corners, then causes problems later, we definitely want to be responsible for it, which I know is kind of unusual. But yeah, if we document it enough, make a cool video or an owner's manual or something, that hopefully it might be good enough instead of ripping it up, open the walls again.
Is this something that you want to keep on doing? Like you want to get into you want to grow in the real estate industry, or is there a specific thing you want to accomplish long term?
Yeah, I would like to make a cooperative organization that does this indefinitely, that is always adding more houses. So the goal is to permanently add the land to a housing trust, a community investment trust, and then sell the houses on top with a long-term ground lease. This is kind of an approach that's used by community land trusts. And so you're removing the house and the land permanently from the public market, from the speculative market, and it's just a parallel market now. And then when people want to sell the house, you know, they're restricted in how much they can sell it for, but the organization owns the land forever. And, you know, it can be a nonprofit, it can be a cooperative corporation, but the idea is that a group of people sort of democratically govern it for the good of the neighborhood forever. And you're always adding more houses to it and building your knowledge of house repair and making the neighborhoods better.
Interesting. Cool idea.
So the bathroom, you know, needs tile for sure. Adrian's really good at tile. Maybe in some future, when he gets back to Detroit, we can have a future meeting when he gives a tour of his house as well, because that one was the inspiration in a lot of ways. Like, you know, when I know, or what I think is possible about houses comes from his house, which I lived in for a few months before buying this one.
Cool.
That's a door, but it used to be a balcony, I guess, but it's totally bricked up now. Same thing downstairs.
Oh, wow.
It is.
Same breaking from that door downstairs as well.
Yeah, you can see better from outside, but
So they did it from the outside?
So
you
we
can see it from outside.
flipped the tub, and then one idea was to have a shower access panel, and that one, is not done in a nice way. But if I had to do it again, I wouldn't have flipped the tub. The tub was originally a right-hand tub, and then we changed it to a left-hand tub. And it was a lot of work. Plus, it made that plumbing problem downstairs about the drain. So, lessons learned. But it is a left-hand tub now, and then the back of that wall, we'll probably have to finish demolishing it and add an access panel, which is like a nice panel that you can use to shut off the faucet, in order to make repairs or if there's a problem with the house. Whereas otherwise, there is no water shut off for bathrooms that it's accessible normally. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. And that toilet in the back, we took it out to demolish the wall behind it, and then I installed it back on, and then got obsessed with installing toilets for a while. So
So there are 3 rooms here. I'm not really gonna go inside because but privacy, but basically it's standard size rooms.
well, wait, before you go down, Jacob, do you mind showing one of the bedrooms? Like your bedroom? Yeah.
This would be just a standard one. There's another one over there. There's another one right over there. And I think they're slightly different sizes, but this is the basic layout. And there's obviously a walk-in closet. Not really walk-in, but it's big.
Yeah. So this was my room before I left, and then Jacob and I swapped out, and then I'll be back in May, and then we're all moving out because it's easier to work on the house when people aren't living in it. But for the winter, it's nice to have, for neighbors to see people going in and out and taking care of the house. And the room that's available, that's opening up, is the one next to Jacob. It's Hannah's room right now. So if you know anyone who's looking for a room and wants to sort of join our cooperative, please let us know, because it's a fun house. Jacob is always working on cool projects, and we're only charging utility, so it's only like $80 a month. So it's internet, electricity, water, and
Hey, Paul.
yeah.
I'm still with you guys.
Hey.
So as part of living in the house is participating in the projects, right?
It's not a strong requirement. I mean, you're encouraged to, and we want to make it fun, but yeah, I mean, whatever you would like to join. We have a task board of things that need to be done, and we welcome people to sort of add their own tasks. But it's not a hard requirement. Like, if you're excited about the house mission, that's the most important thing.
Okay, and then it's coming available at the end of the month?
Yeah, I mean, it's soft, so we'll tell Hannah when we need the room, and then she has other places lined up. She meant to be out at the end of December and kind of just like staying on by default. So yeah, by the end of this month, if you or anyone wants to move in, please
Ali,
talk about it.
You can access it. This is garage. This is the house. You can see this is the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is what is
Ooh, backyard.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see much because it's dark, but that's bricked up. So that cutout over there is bricked up.
Yeah, I can see that.
That is also bricked up, and there's the last, and that's so they bricked the things up. But it used to be like a balcony here, balcony up there, and this was driveway. Driveway is working. It's not even going right now. Gate is open. You can technically pull in. This is garage. Backyard, of course, we need a lot of cleaning and things like that. But basically, it's all in fairly good shape. I mean, it's.
Yeah, the garage is really nice. You can't see it in the dark, but the roof is new. It's much nicer than the house's roof. And we suspect that in Detroit, this person treated their car better than the main house.
That sounds about right.
On
Yeah,
the other side, the house is in not such good shape. This house is like totally like this house is probably like gone. Like they'll probably just demo it entirely. And same thing's true with that house. These houses are particular. Yeah, I mean, even if you take a look at the state of their garage, I mean, this is their garage was left of it. And the whole entire house, you can see how these two particular houses, right, they're particularly bad. The other ones on the other side of the street, they're all good. They're all been totally. I mean, I think definitely some reason why they totally do it, but it's gonna be a lot of work. This house is much better shape.
Oh, so your house is you would say, besides like those renovated houses, like your house is in a pretty good condition.
It was okay and better than this one, and it's all brick, which is big plus, big plus because structurally, it's sound. It's all bricks. That's a big difference. Yeah, it is gonna be better. And then of course you have the size of the driveway, side door goes straight up to the front, totally cemented, and you come from the side, so you don't even need that kitchen doors. You have to open it up. It might not be all that easy. Yeah, Paul. Sorry, I don't think you were able to see anything, but
Yeah, sorry, Natalie. We'll give you a daytime tour some other time. But yeah, and that's pretty much it.
yeah, yeah, sure. So, Paul, is anybody else coming in? Because it's been just.
Yeah, it's always kind of a surprise. I mean, 4 other people RSVP, but the flake rate on Meetup is quite high. So if 1 out of 4 people show up, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, last time nobody showed up.
Yeah. But it's cold, and so I expect once it gets warmer, and once we can have barbecues again, it'll be more fun, more of a celebration. So I actually have to leave soon too. I have to gather some wood so I can burn it for tonight before it gets too dark.
Well, thanks so much, guys. I'm really glad the signal held.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
impressive. And see what kind of progress you guys made. It's exciting.
Yeah, and yeah, if you would like to share any part of your house, we could sort of have a meeting over there next time as well, because I'd love to see it, and if there's anything we can help out with. One program I was thinking of, in addition to having sort of classes, like a toilet installation class, is just to offer help to people at their house. They own their house, and we just come over and sort of have a tour or a class over at their place, and anything people know how to do, I would help with the wiring or the electrical. Yeah, so we'll in case you're interested, we'll let you know. The link to the forum, I'll send you over Meetup, and if you'd like to join, you can keep in touch with future events that we're doing.
Thanks a lot. Great getting to meet you and see your house, and great to meet you too.
Yeah, great to meet you too, Morteza. And Natalie, it was great catching up. We should do it. We should have a more relaxed catch up when you're not on your way to a gig, but I hope it goes really well tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I have some houses I want to run by you actually. So yeah, when I figure out what my schedule is, I don't know if I'll be that available till the gig is over, which is the 30th. But
don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely on the agenda. So yeah, good to meet you guys, and good to see you, Paul.
Yeah. Okay. Take care. Have a good night.
Bye.